Daddy, tell me a story.
All right, Bobby, I'll tell you a story. You pull up a chair. This story is about how my Papa Nascar had a tow truck and he towed trucks or something. What did he do, Joe?
So this was actually before I was born, so I only heard the story secondhand. But there was one story that my dad told me. He was driving the tow truck. He was towing someone's car away, and a guy kept cutting him off. He was on the highway, and so finally, because the guy was basically trying to force him off the road, my dad pulled over to confront him.
And of course he did. Of course he did.
And he went to confront him, and the guy whipped a metal chain and smacked him in the head and knocked him out. I don't actually know if they took their car back or whatever, but he woke up with blood stain on the back of his bald head. Wow. and concussion, and yeah.
Where the heck was the Bobcat in all this?
I did not expect your dad to get knocked out. That is very disappointing, sir.
I just figured your family kept a long line of mountain lions.
So that was one of the tales.
So did your daddy get his Mormon biker gang and go kill this guy, or what happened?
No. I actually don't know what happened after that. He just told me that he got it, because he was I asked him about a scar on the back of his head, and so
he really just hit it on a cabinet that was too low. But that's the story he tells.
Oh, he constantly hit his head on cabinets, and because he was bald, he didn't have that hair cushion at all, and so he wore a lot of hats because he was always hitting his head. But the other story,
most people switch to helmets after a while.
Look, on a side note though, hold on, shut up. My phone's talking. I was looking something up. Side note: have you ever been in one of those 1980 showers that had the sliding shower door, but it's on the double tracks, and when you go to get out, you catch the top of your head on that double metal freaking cover from Hades?
Yeah.
No. I'm way
short
too
people
short.
Suck, Kurt.
Oh my
God, it's the worst. It's the worst.
I nicked it a tiny bit, but
Oh, man.
You've got what, 8? You're 8 inches taller than me?
Something like that.
Because how tall are you? You're like 6'4", right? You're like, yeah. You're like 6'8", right?
Yeah, 6'7". 6'4". That's funny.
He's like
Kurt's barely 5'4", so I don't hear it.
So you're 6'8"?
I'm 5'8".
7.
You're almost a foot taller than Kurt and I then. But no, the other
you heard it here though. I got 8 inches on Joe.
Let's move on. Roll that dice.
Oh yeah. Why? Why is that the thing that stopped the show? All right. So second story about Papa Nascar.
Again, the tow truck. There was a job that a bunch of the tow people in the area, they kept turning down because the person that they were trying to repossess from kept pulling guns on tow trucks. And so my dad went ahead and took the job, and had a Colt at his waistband as he was going to get it, and so he's hooking up the car and to his tow truck, and he hears pow pow. So he gets up, pulls out his gun, looks around, only to find out it was a car that had backfired.
I thought maybe an acorn hit his roof.
But at that point, he didn't even bother unhooking the brake line or transmission or anything, and he just floored it and just he trashed that car. But he repossessed it.
Wonder what them Duke boys are up to now.
I do want to give a shout out. What I was looking up was to make sure I got the TikTok channel correct. Everything Auto Towing in Gatlinburg. They make some really great digital content. They have long form videos on YouTube and the short form, of course, on TikTok. And they just tow vehicles from parking lots in Gatlinburg mostly on the. I mean, sometimes it's stuck vehicles, sometimes but they're just the nicest people, and they make some great commentary, and they're never mean to people. But there's some interesting stories, and almost everyone they post, they're parked wherever they're towing is parked like in front of the sign that says no parking. So yeah, it's fun. Check them out.
Yeah, I can't remember which. This is a bit of a tangent, but I can't remember which company. But there was one of the automotive companies filed a patent for a car that could repossess itself with the with the auto driving, that they can connect to the car and you're behind on your payments, and it will drive itself back to the closest dealership or whatever.
This segment is known as how not to influence people to buy an electric car.
I'm about to get off on a tangent of people hiding cars when they know they're behind on payments, but we're not going to do that.